So what's up? Today I'm going to be talking about recovery tips, and this applies to boys and girls, whatever eating disorder you have. And this can even be if you don't have an eating disorder and you just are feeling really low and you need something to help you get through it and need more self-love. The first thing I want to talk about is bloating. Bloating during recovery is the worst thing ever. And I don't know if it goes away. Like I didn't really, I don't study it, but all I know is I've been in recovery for like about a year altogether, probably off and on. And bloating is still here and it sucks. And like it can be really hard on my self-esteem sometimes because bloating, like it's ridiculous. I can eat an apple and I bloat. Like my stomach gets so big because it was used to being so small that it's like I look like I'm 6 months pregnant, not even kidding. And it is hard and it hurts really bad. And sometimes the only thing that I think I can do to make it feel better is throw up, because like there's all this pressure and I'm like, I gotta throw up, that'll make me feel better. But it doesn't. Like it honestly just adds to the pain and it just makes me feel even worse about myself. So one of the things I do whenever I have really bad bloating problems is I take a super hot bath and then I drain it and then take a cold bath. I don't know if that actually is good for you or not, but it makes me feel better. And I put lavender bubble bath in it and I have like a cup of ice water and I just like drink it slowly. And then I have a hot cup of green tea with honey and lemon, and it just seems to settle my stomach down pretty well. And number 2 is dealing with comments like, wow, you look so healthy. Like you look so much better than you were when you were super skinny. People mean that in the nicest way, and I understand that, and it took me a long time to understand that, but it is literally like a knife to my heart. It's getting better and it's just like a little stab to my heart, but before it was like someone was just like putting a knife in my heart and turning it and turning it and turning it and turning it. Like it was awful. I hated it. I would go home and cry and feel so bad about myself, because that's literally telling someone with an eating disorder, like, hey, like you don't look like you have an eating disorder anymore. Like, good for you. That's really hard to hear, because at least for me in the first couple stages of recovery, and like when I started eating, I didn't even want to look at myself. I hated myself still, and I just was recovering weight-wise. I wasn't recovering for self-love. And when people would say that, it would just tear me apart, and I didn't know how to handle it. But what people mean by that, or when they say you look so healthy, it means you don't have like green under eye circles anymore. You don't look like you're on the verge of death. You have color in your skin because you can go outside without feeling sick. You don't have like super hairy arms anymore because your body doesn't have to overcompensate with hair because you're so cold. It's the little things that all together make a huge difference, and it seems really scary, but it honestly just makes you more beautiful, if anything. It's not even about being beautiful on the outside. Just how you feel about yourself and how you are as a person just is so much more beautiful than you could ever imagine. You're at peace with yourself. You're at peace with others. You're not focusing on others and like what they weigh and how you are compared to them. And it's so much better. It's so much better. And I can tell you that with complete honesty. And I know that when people would tell me things like this, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Like, you just, like, I would literally think you are only saying these things because you aren't super skinny anymore, which is awful. But that's how my eating disorder told me to think. And that's how I thought. But it's not like that. I promise. It's genuinely the best thing that's ever happened to me. And through the ups and the downs, it can be awful. And there's so many little mountains. And then there's one big mountain, and then you still have a bunch of little mountains to get over. But every day I choose to get up and recover is a better day than it was whenever I was in my eating disorder, because it wasn't my life. And now I'm living my life the way I want to live my life, and it is so much better. The third thing would probably be eating out. I hated eating out. I want to eat with my friends. I was afraid to go out to eat. I want to go get coffee with people. I would only get coffee at like local coffee shop and go get it by myself. I think I would go with my best friend a couple of times, but for a while I wouldn't even eat around her for a little bit. I had super bad anxiety about just the thought of eating with a guy. Like, every time a guy would ask me out on a date, I would have to be like, I can't be around food. I don't want to be, like, I don't want to have to be at your house and you offer to cook dinner or something. It can't be anything related around food. And that narrows down a lot of options, especially when you live in such a small town like I do. Like, we literally had nothing else to do. But I also hated shopping. Recovery and shopping was super hard for me. I just like, what is that? Oh, okay, that was Penn State. Recovery, like whenever I started shopping, when I recovered, because clothes weren't fitting the right way, I went from a 00 to a 2, and I'm currently still at a 2, and my clothes fit fine. But I know that if I did have to go get new clothes, that I'd be okay with it. And like, sometimes when I go to a store, I'm a 2 in one size and a 0 in others, and then a 4 in others. A 4 in others. Like, it's just because sizes are different everywhere. And a lot of the times that's just with jeans, because jeans are like size super weird. I don't know why their size so different, but yeah. So eating, shopping, that was all really hard, and eventually I just conquered my fears, and I made my friends take me out to eat and made them take me to shop. And I told them ahead of time, like, I'm probably gonna be a little mean. Like, I'm kind of mean whenever I start getting like anxiety, when I have an anxiety problem. Like, I shut off very quickly. I can like put a wall up very quickly, and that was really hard for people that my friends or family to deal with at first, but they were really patient with me and understood that it was hard for me. And slowly I began to be able to adjust to normal things again. And the last and final thing is being in recovery because you love yourself, not just for weight gain. Recovery doesn't always require weight gain. It doesn't really, you can be overweight or underweight. You can be overweight or underweight and still have an eating disorder. So you don't have to gain weight in recovery. Recovery is a process and a journey for your life of loving yourself and learning to accept that you're human and you're going to have flaws. You're going to have pimples, you're going to have like cellulite, eventually you're going to have stretch marks. Just knowing that you're human and everything on your body is normal and natural. And that was really hard for me to understand for a long time, and I still have problems with it sometimes. Even like, I even sometimes get upset that I'm not bigger. Like, I feel like my butt's too small and my boobs are too small. Like, I still compare myself to other people sometimes, and I'm like, why is my butt like that? Why isn't it like, why is my waist not that small? Like, why does my face not look like that? And the truth is, like, we are who we are. And we're all uniquely beautiful. And that's what makes us like all work together because we're all different. If we were all the same, like imagine how awful that would be. I hope all of you know that if you ever need me, you can talk to me, and that it doesn't matter if you have an eating disorder or not. You can always talk to me about anything, whether your parents are divorcing, whether your boyfriend broke up with you, anything. And my Instagram is Allie Lambeth. And yeah.